Private Lender Podcast, Episode 10.
The Private Lender Podcast quote of the day comes to us from Warren Buffett, who said, "I will tell you the secret to getting rich on Wall Street. You try to be greedy when others are fearful, and you try to be fearful when others are greedy."
This is the Private Lender Podcast, the show that shares practical advice and know-how for new and seasoned lenders, from private mortgages on single-family houses to joint ventures on commercial projects and beyond. Discover details about investment vehicles that you won't find at your local bank or online broker. Listen and learn from private lenders and real estate investors, as well as from professionals and entrepreneurs, as they share the details, strategies, and the insight that allows for successful and prosperous lending. Now, get ready to increase your ROI. Here's your host, Keith Baker.
Welcome, everybody, to the Private Lender Podcast. I'm your host, Keith Baker, and thank you for joining me today. This is episode 10. And even though it's just 10 episodes, this is a major milestone for the podcast and for myself. Honestly, when I set out to launch this thing and had this crazy idea and told my wife I needed to buy a microphone and some other things, I really didn't have a true vision of where this was going to go. I had some ideas of what I wanted to do, and over the past few weeks, with people's emails, instant messages, and so forth, I've gotten a lot of great feedback, and I'm getting even more excited about what direction to take this whole thing, or in what direction I want to take it in. And there's obviously private lending is what I like to do. It's how I do most of my investing in real estate. And I enjoy it, and I hope that I can relay that fun, that passion to you guys, and hopefully you'll, hopefully it suits you, and you can do some lending and some passive real estate investing. I know every time you turn around, it seems like there's another new flipping show coming on television. It's popular right now, to say the least, but real estate's always been there. They're not making any more land, so I think it's a very viable way to help build wealth, if nothing else, or just to give you some alternative investment ideas and some other avenues to explore. A couple of announcements. I want to talk about some events that I'll be attending in the next couple of months. March 14th, I will be at the 713 Houston Area Real Estate Networking Group. That's at the Holiday Inn Express at 125 Airtex Drive in Houston, 77090. Then on April 7th, I haven't confirmed, but I will be at the Realty Investment Community of Houston speaking at their general trade show. I won't be the keynote, but I'll be the first speaker up there. And then we'll most likely be teaching a class later on in April. So if you're interested and you live in the Houston area, send an email to info@privatelenderpodcast.com, and we'll get you some more information. And then, of course, August 25th and 26th, we'll be in Dallas at Quest IRA's Expo at the Westin Galleria on Dallas Parkway. So come on out and learn about self-directed IRAs and what you can do and how much fun they can be. As Quest says, they make IRAs fun. So those are a couple of the events that are coming up. And I'm proud to announce that the Private Lender Podcast has a new sponsor, the 713 Houston Area Real Estate Networking Meetup Group, with Ray Sasser and Landon Rothstein on the north side of town. If you'd like more information, go to privatelenderpodcast.com/sponsors and click on the 713 Houston Area Real Estate Networking tab, or link, and you can get more information. Last time they had a really good turnout, and Mitch Stephen, who was on episode 6, he was speaking about owner financing properties and his real estate model. So thanks for the 713 Houston Area Real Estate Networking Group, Meetup Group, for sponsoring the podcast. And thinking of what I was going to talk about today, I couldn't decide if today's episode would be about, the space that private lenders occupy in between conventional institutional banks and hard money lenders. And that's kind of our little sweet spot. And that's what makes private lending so nice. That, yes, investors can get better interest rates from banks, charge lower rates. However, there is a tremendous process to go through to get that. And oftentimes you need to have cash reserves at that bank in order to get those investment loans either in your name or in your company's name. And banks take forever to get their funding to you. Opposite side of that spectrum are hard money lenders, or sharks, or Shylocks. They can get money to you real fast, but you're going to pay for it. You're going to pay a lot of points up front, and interest rates as high as 12, 14, 16%, up to usury. Now, in Texas, where I'm based and the podcast is based, that's 18%. So it's not uncommon to see a hard money loan want 4 points up front and 13 to 14% interest through the course of the life of that loan. So for somebody who has a little extra cash, maybe in a CD at a bank that's earning next to nothing, private lending is very much like bond investing, in the sense that you're investing at a set rate, at a set time, and there's a maturity. So if you loan somebody, for example, $50,000 to purchase a house, your payments will be $5,000 a year, or $416.66 per month. Interest only, that is, these are interest only payments to you. And at the end of those 5 years, because your investment is backed by a piece of real estate, a tangible asset, if that borrower defaults, does not pay you back, unlike owning Enron stock or Tyco or any of the other, or being a Bernie Madoff investor, you still have you have the right to take that house back, to foreclose on that property, and then to either keep it for yourself and put it in your portfolio, or turn it around and sell it to recoup your money. And if you do it right, and if you do it smart, then even if you have to foreclose on a borrower, and that's always the worst case scenario, if your underwriting is good, if your loan to value is low enough, then you can't say guaranteed, never say never, but the odds of you losing all your money are very slim, and the odds of you recuperating the bulk of it is really, really high, really good. So while no investment is 100% safe, at least with private lending, you can add some safety into it and mitigate that risk, which is something I find very appealing, because I really can't do that with stocks. I mean, you can do your technical analysis and look at the fundamentals of the company, but at the end of the day, it's a market, and people get scared and do crazy things. Not to say that doesn't happen in the housing market either. But at least in the housing market, I feel better that I can mitigate my risks, and I can look at what the possibilities are up front and decide whether or not I'm going to take that risk or not. In the coming weeks, I hope to have a free course on private lending available to the listeners and anybody who wants to peruse it and maybe dip their toe in the water a little bit. Honestly, it's taken me a lot longer to create than I had anticipated. I guess like most things in life, you think it's going to be easy, or you only need so much work into it, and then you come into it and you say, well, no, I need 3 to 4 times the work. So in between basketball games, piano lessons, soccer games, and dance, I am trying to put something together that will hopefully make a lot more sense than just listening to me on this podcast, or at least when you do listen to me, things will start to click a little more, and things will make more sense for you. So please keep an eye out for that. That'll be coming in the week, hopefully the weeks ahead, hopefully the not too distant future. Please go to check out privatelenderpodcast.com/sponsors and visit 713 Houston area real estate networking meetup page, and come out if you're in the Houston area on March 14th, the second Wednesday of every month. Come on out. I'll have a booth, and I'll be also probably recording a little bit out there. I'm all hyped up now. I got this little portable MP3 recorder, so I can annoy people everywhere I go now, not just my family, when I record this thing. So anyhow, that's going to wrap it up for episode 10. I wanted to say thank you for listening, and please, please, please go to iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, or wherever you listen to this, and please leave a rating and review, especially a review. The more reviews I get, the higher up I can move and gain a little more traction in the stutter in the podcast space. And my goal, I want to get Tony Robbins, I want to get Robert Kiyosaki, and yeah, I'll say it. I'd love to get Trump on this thing. I'd love to listen to him talk for an hour about his real estate investing. So that's my goal. I've put it out there. I just opened my mouth. So if you're listening and you can do it, which I know you can, so please help and leave a rating and review, and keep the emails coming, keep the instant messengers coming, keep the comments coming. I really do appreciate it. And I will see or hear you guys on the next episode. Take care.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Private Lender Podcast with your host, Heath Baker. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit privatelenderpodcast.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, please rate and review, and we'll catch you next time.